Welcome back to Garden Crafts, where forgotten bottles become treasures and your backyard blooms with imagination. In today's journey, we'll uncover 20 of the cutest, most creative DIY garden ideas, all crafted from simple plastic bottles. These aren't just planters, they're personalities, little animal companions, glowing lights, and playful sculptures that bring life, laughter, and purpose to your outdoor space. So if you've ever looked at your recycling bin and wondered what else it could be, this is your sign. Take a deep breath, gather those bottles, and let's turn trash into whimsical treasure together. Don't forget to subscribe to Garden Crafts if this kind of joyful, practical creativity inspires you. Tap the like button if even one of these designs made you smile. And share in the comments, which bottle creature would you make first? Now, find a comfy spot, let the sun stream in, and come imagine with us in the quiet hush of an early morning garden. When the water is still and the breeze barely stirs the leaves, a little green frog floats on a pond made from dreams and leftover bottles. Its body, once destined for landfill, now drifts gently beneath a bloom of lavender-tinted hyacinths, its crown of wild color rising proudly from a carved bottle opening. Around it, other frog friends bob along the surface like a tiny fleet of garden guardians, each painted with wide smiles and silly eyes that seem to follow the flutter of dragonfly wings. Their forms are playful yet thoughtful, crafted from everyday bottles, cut and painted a soft, mossy green, and fitted with floating rings to keep them steady. They aren't just cute, they're planters with purpose. The hyacinths that spill from their backs filter the water beneath them, purifying and breathing new life into the little ecosystem they call home. It's a perfect marriage. Art that doesn't just sit pretty, but lives, floats, and thrives. A pair of hands, maybe yours, might one day create another for the pond's corner. All it takes is a discarded bottle, a splash of paint, and a bit of wonder. This frogtastic garden isn't just decoration. It's an invitation to see the magic hiding in what we once threw away. In your own backyard, the next smile-shaped frog might already be waiting in the recycling bin, nestled on a sun-warmed log. Beneath the rustle of garden leaves, a tiny mouse made of discarded plastic rests as if it's always belonged there. Its body, once a common bottle, is now sleek and curved like a woodland creature caught mid-scurry. But it's no ordinary mouse. On its back, a cheerful green succulent rises like a tiny crown, soft and lively against the dark form beneath it. This little garden guest carries charm in every detail. Its tail, a looped piece of frayed rope, curls behind it as if playfully twitching in the morning breeze. Two oversized ears, cut from painted bottle plastic, frame a soft felt nose and button eyes that gleam with a quiet spark. It's not just cute, it's soulful, built not to mimic life, but to echo it, and to bring a moment of delight to whoever stops to notice. The mouse planter perches in a garden where real and handmade coexist. Around it, petals flare in sunset tones, and the soil smells rich with yesterday's rain. You imagine your hands brushing a log, placing your own creature down beside it. You recall how the bottle was cut, how the tail was knotted, how the plant nestled in just right, and you smile, because something small and simple has found its way from forgotten trash into your garden's living story. Here, whimsy doesn't come from a store shelf. It's born for what we reuse, reimagine, and gently craft with care. Just along the border where the flowers meet the vegetables, a merry quartet of barnyard creatures peeks out with painted eyes full of cheer. Their bodies once held laundry soap and juice, but now, these plastic jugs have become guardians of the garden. A pig with a perky smile, a cow with tiny horns, a gentle sheep with fluffy trim, and a bold little chicken leading the way. The line they form isn't straight. It bends slightly, like a group of friends leaning into gossip over fence. Each figure wears its own handmade touch, wiry tails, hand-cut ears, and cheerful snouts painted with child's joy. Their white and pastel forms gleam under the sun, and the soil below them crumbles with the scent of marigolds and mint. Behind them, a wave of color unfolds, bright cosmos, marigolds, and pansies dancing in the breeze. The fence they lean on is just an old tree limb laid across bricks, but it does the job. This isn't a display for perfection. It's a celebration of personality, made from things you already have. You can almost hear them talking, these buddies of the backyard, offering a welcome to every passerby and pollinator alike. All it takes is a few jugs, a bit of paint, and a willingness to smile while you snip and glue. Their charm doesn't lie in flawless design. It lies in the love that shaped them. And perhaps tomorrow, a new animal might join them, maybe a goat or a duck, crafted from a forgotten bottle, waiting quietly under the kitchen sink, perched proudly on a tilted branch. For tiny squirrels gather like mischief makers mid-story. But they're not chasing nuts through autumn leaves. They're rooted, gently holding small gardens on their backs. Each one a bottle, reborn in a quiet act of transformation. Their dark metallic shells once held something forgettable. Now they cradle life. Their tails, twisted from brown rope, curl in perfect balance behind them. Their faces, sweet and simple, glance in different directions, as if listening for something in the breeze. A white bloom peeks from one of their backs, while another grows a leafy stem tall as an ear. The tiny painted acorns in their paws are charming, yes, but it's their stillness that draws you in. They are guardians of the shelf, woodland spirits made from waste. Behind them, monstera leaves climb gently in the filtered sunlight. The soft green wall glows like late morning fog, wrapping the whole scene in a kind of homemade peace. It's not just decor. It's a conversation between nature and handwork, between art and reuse. And maybe that branch they sit on came from the park after a storm, or from a tree near your grandmother's house. The bottles? Fish from the recycling, once washed and forgotten. It all comes together here, in these playful planet squirrels who will never scurry, but always smile. Their whimsy is contagious. Perhaps one day soon, you'll find yourself painting ears on a bottle, tying a tail, and searching for the right twig perch to start your own parade, tucked between the tall green stalks of backyard bamboo. Something gentle and sleepy rests on an old branch worn smooth by time. It's a red panda, but not the kind you'd find in misty Himalayan forests. This one is born of reuse, lovingly shaped from a recycled plastic bottle, and painted in hues of russet brown and cream. Its fur mimicked by the soft curve of fabric and the brush of a steady hand. Its body drapes naturally over the branch, as if it's found the perfect place to nap. A bushy tail, wrapped in alternating red and white rope, falls down like a waterfall of color. Its little black paws cling with ease, while a soft rope tassel dangles playfully from one paw. But the real magic is on its back, a living patch of green. Succulents thrive there, thick with life and contrast, spilling gently outward like the thoughts of a dreamer. This isn't just a planter. It's a memory, a story told in materials most would discard. The bottle that forms its frame once held something ordinary, maybe water or soda or vinegar. But now it holds attention. It holds joy. It turns a shady corner of the garden into a storybook page come alive. When you walk past, it doesn't shout. It invites. It tells you that rest is important, that whimsy has a place even among weeds and weather. And perhaps, as you kneel nearby to pull a weed or water a bed, you'll look up and smile, because your garden is smiling back at you through the eyes of a red panda who's found peace in being repurposed. Hidden in the quiet belly of a hollow log, a fox watches. Not a real one, though it has the sly charm and alert poise of something once wild. This fox is a creation of clever hands and quiet afternoons, a painted bottle turned into a creature of whimsy, cradling a single hibiscus bloom on its back like a secret it carries proudly. Its body glows a cheerful orange, the color of falling leaves and morning sun, cut cleanly to suggest a curve of fur. A white chest, brushed softly onto plastic, give the illusion of warmth. And that tail, crafted from a kitchen brush or twisted fabric, fans out in a swoosh behind it, resting gently on the log surface like it's been there all season. On its back, the hibiscus burns in brilliant orange flame, its petals mirroring the fox's coat, its roots resting comfortably in the recycled belly of this quiet companion. Around it, tropical leaves rustle faintly, palm fronds and monstera curling toward light, and the fox, unmoving, seems to listen. There's something ancient and playful in this creation, a nod to forest stories and the creatures that live between the lines of bark and moss. You imagine the hand that painted it, carefully cutting ears, gluing the tail, positioning the plant. It wasn't rushed. These things shouldn't be. Now, it waits in your garden, not to chase, not to flee, but to remind you that even the cleverest of creatures can come from what we throw away, and that sometimes the soul of a woodland spirit might be hiding inside an empty bottle and an old brush, just waiting to smile again. On a sun-bleached slab of driftwood that once floated through tides unknown, 5 cheerful crabs have come to rest. But these aren't creatures of the sea. They are bottle-born, their bodies once plastic and hollow, now painted in vivid scarlet and brought to life with googly eyes and coiled rope limbs. They scuttle nowhere, but they stir the imagination just the same. Each one holds its own little personality. Some smile wide, their eyes turned in curious directions. Others seem bashful, leaning inward toward their companions. Their rope claws curl outward, frayed slightly from weather and time, while the stone-colored tips of their legs hint at salty shores and handmade charm. They sit not on a beach, but in a garden that dreams of one, among crushed shell mulch and the whisper of coastal grasses. You can almost hear the waves if you listen closely, or perhaps it's just the breeze moving gently past the palms. The crabs don't mind. They're made to delight, not to dwell. Their creation was simple. Cut, paint, twist, glue. But in their stillness, they bring movement to a quiet corner. They remind us of laughter, of tide pools explored, of long afternoons with sand between our toes, and not a single clock in sight. And here they sit, watching over your succulents or resting by a path of stone. Not as decor really, but as memories, as joy sculpted from trash and time. Their red shines bright against the green, like stories whispered from a shoreline far away, retold by a garden that's learned how to smile. Beneath the outstretched shadow of a great green leaf, something tiny sits still, watchful, warm, and wonderfully odd. It's a hedgehog, but not from burrows or brush. This one comes from bottle and twine, and its back bristles not with quills, but with carefully chosen twigs that crisscross like a forest crown. Its body is wrapped in jute, the kind you might find at a corner store or in a drawer of forgotten crafts. The twine hugs a bottle's gentle curves, forming a little creature with a round felt face that gazes out with quiet delight. 2 beady eyes gleam like dew, and a stitched smile curves in a way that suggests this hedgehog knows more than it lets on. Its feet, smooth stones placed with care, anchor to the wooden base as if it's ready to scurry, but chooses instead to simply rest. It isn't large. You might overlook it if you rush past. But if you pause, you'll see how its texture blends with nature. Its colors echo bark, soil, and that soft spot behind tree trunks where moss loves to grow. This isn't a showpiece. It's a companion, a symbol of patience and care. It started like most things in a forgotten place, a bottle, a pile of twigs, an idea. But now, it carries its own little story in every curve and curl. It's a creature that makes you slow down, look closely, and maybe even begin to see magic in your own recycling bin. After all, Isn't that what gardens are for? Not just growing things, but making room for small wonders. As the evening hush settles over the garden and the light turns to amber, a row of owls begins to blink into view. Not from trees, but from the wooden slats of a sun-worn fence. Each one swings gently in the breeze, watching with wide, whimsical eyes painted on upcycled plastic bottles. Some gaze left, others right, but all seem quietly amused by the world below. They are made of scraps and spirit. Clear bottles transformed into tiny owl bodies, their bellies hollowed just enough to cradle a succulent that spills downward like layered feathers. Wings crafted from cardboard, some gold, some silver, some white, flutter slightly, giving the illusion of movement even in stillness. Each owl boasts its own personality, shaped by crooked lashes, wonky beaks, or bottle cap bellies that shine like tiny badges of honor. Together, they form a parliament, a gathering of cleverness and charm, strung along twine and nails like an open-air art exhibit. As dusk deepens, shadows stretch, and the last golden light catches the plastic just so, making it glow faintly like something half alive. The plants growing from their bellies sway, as if they too are thinking. And maybe you'll find yourself beneath them, with a drill in one hand and a bottle in the other, wondering how your owl will look once its eyes are drawn. Will it be the sleepy one, the bright-eyed one, or the one with the lopsided grin? Because here, in the world of garden whispers and soft imagination, nothing is wasted. Even a plastic bottle can become a bird of quiet wonder, watching, swaying, and adding a bit of magic to the spaces we thought were ordinary. Tucked into a sun-warmed corner of the garden, where the soil feels soft beneath your feet and the breeze smells faintly of herbs, a little armored figure rests. It's an armadillo, sculpted not from clay or metal, but from what others might have thrown away, a bottle painted a deep ocean teal, with a button-bright blue cap for a nose and ears formed from pale river stones worn smooth by time. But what makes it truly special is the shell, a mosaic of stacked pebbles in shades of ash, sand, and lavender gray, carefully arranged like overlapping scales. It doesn't roll or run. It stays still, grounded by its own quiet strength. Nestled within the center of its back, a small cluster of red-tipped succulents rises like a proud plume, turning this curious creature into a planter with purpose. There's whimsy in its face, a sense of humor in its stout legs and stubby tail made from stone and twine. But there's also a sort of honor in its presence, like it was built not just to decorate, but to remind that strength can be found in gentle things. That protection and beauty can come from layers of what's discarded. It doesn't try to steal the spotlight. It just fits in the curve of a path, in the corner by the marigolds, beside the driftwood that caught your eye last spring. And as the sun arcs above and shadows stretch long, you might sit nearby, feeling a little less hurried, a little more grounded. Because somewhere between the bottle and the stone, this armadillo became more than a project. It became a keeper of calm. In the golden light of late afternoon, where tall grasses sway like whispers and dandelions gnawed in sleepy rhythm, a mother kangaroo stands, still, transparent, and full of charm, made entirely from upcycled plastic bottles. Her form rises with grace, legs firm, ears alert, eyes wide and curious, as if watching a far-off dream. Her body gleams faintly in the sun, revealing its bottle-born bones, a testament to the beauty that lives in reuse. Around her snout, a bright blue ring adds a gentle splash of personality. But the heart of her design lies lower, in the thickly woven pouch cradled against her belly. Crafted from natural rope, it curves like a nest, soft and sturdy. And nestled inside, with wide eyes and a tiny painted smile, is her Joey, peeking out from the safety of home. They don't hop, they don't move, yet their presence brings life to the garden. Their quiet connection, frozen in plastic and twine, reminds us that care doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be present. Around them, ornamental grasses ripple brushing their legs like silk. A few marigolds lean their golden heads nearby, and the air smells faintly of dry earth and sun-warmed stone. It's the kind of corner you might have passed by until they arrived. Now it's a place to pause, to wonder, to remember the joy of creating something out of almost nothing. With each bottle you save, there's a chance to build another scene like this, to craft not just characters, but companions, silent, whimsical, and full of warmth. And maybe next time, the Joey will have a friend peeking out beside it, perched high on a sun-drenched branch, where leaves gather like an audience and petals flicker in tropical hues. The toucan watches, its beak, brilliant in bands of orange, yellow, and black, curves proudly over the garden, vivid as a sunset, bold as a laugh. But this bird didn't come from a forest. It came from a recycling bin and a bit of imagination. Its body, once an ordinary black bottle, is now cloaked in thick wraps of rope, some dark as volcanic stone, others soft and natural like sand. The texture feels hand-wound, warm with the effort of someone who didn't rush. Its chest is light, its back sturdy, and planted firmly between its shoulders. A bromeliad unfurls, spiky and red tinged, like feathers caught mid-flare. Its feet, wrapped in twine, cling to the branch without nails or glue, only balance and quiet presence. A single blue eye watches with alert joy, the kind that sees not only what's there, but what could be. Around it, the garden hums, bees weaving between blossoms, the soft rustle of leaves, a breeze that tastes faintly of guava and morning. You almost don't notice that it's made of parts, that somewhere in this playful creature is a plastic bottle, a cap, a twist of string. That's the trick of it, the way joy disguises itself as simplicity. It's not just a bird, it's a symbol of turning waste into wonder, of painting outside the lines. And when you pass it tomorrow, you might find yourself nodding back, because now you know the secret. This toucan was never just decoration. It was always a dream given form, rising gently from a bed of tiny purple flowers. The giraffe watches the wind move, not with a flick of a tail or the twitch of a velvet ear, but in stillness, tall, elegant, and made from pieces once discarded. Its body, crafted from stacked plastic bottles, stretches high above the blooms, capturing the sky in its transparent bones. Painted brown spots dance up its slender neck, each one unique and slightly imperfect, just as real spots would be. A blue band circles its midsection, a cheerful sash of personality amid the neutral tones. Its legs are wrapped with rustic rope, firm and grounded, while a mane of straw tumbles gracefully down one side like a woven waterfall, softening the silhouette. Its face is gentle, wide. Painted eyes gaze outward, not in fear or wonder, but calm awareness. Two tiny horns made from twisted twine perch atop its head, while a bundle of straw at the tail echoes the mane's texture, tying the whole creature together with quiet symmetry. Around it, the garden doesn't seem smaller, just more alive. The giraffe doesn't dominate, it invites. It lends height to the space, a vertical rhythm that balances ground-hugging plants and low beds. And from the succulents nestled in its back, a new dimension of greenery rises, reaching for the same sun that dances on its shoulders. There's something noble in its posture, something joyful in its transformation. From empty plastic to towering sculpture, it reminds us the things we throw away can still rise again, tall as wonder, under the cool shade of tall trees, where the sunlight filters through in trembling specks and the soil carries the scent of earth and memory. A gentle family of deer rests. Not real deer, though their presence feels just as quiet and sincere. These woodland creatures are made from bottles, rope, twigs, and love, born not of forest, but creative hands and a wish to bring softness to a forgotten space. The two larger deer stand side by side, their curved bottle bodies painted in warm chestnut browns. Twigs have been chosen carefully for their antlers, not too thick, not too long, each one unique. Their cheeks are dotted with small white specks, and their faces, though simple, carry something tender. From their backs bloom wildflowers, blue, white, yellow, turning them into moving gardens rooted in stillness. Beside them, two smaller fawns peer upward, their ears perk slightly, as if listening to hum of bees or the rustle of a bird's wings. Tiny rope tails curl behind them, and mossy stones cradle their feet. They don't move, yet they hold the whole scene together, like punctuation in a poem. They were made from what was once considered useless. Bottles tossed aside, bits of fabric, a few fallen twigs. But now they stand as a family, a reminder of care, of the instinct to protect and stay close, even in silence. Their home is not the wild, but this garden, this little patch of softened ground, where stories grow alongside flowers. And maybe, just maybe, a part of you will want to make one too, not just for how it looks, but for the peace it brings when you stop to see it. Along the edge of a blooming garden bed, a playful gallery comes to life, not framed in gold or hung on pristine walls, but swinging gently from a wooden beam, catching the wind like little woodland spirits telling their tales. Each one was once a plastic jug, the kind used for laundry or water. Now, with a touch of imagination and paint-stained fingertips, they become creatures of charm and color. Foxes curled in rest, owls peeking from hollow trees, squirrels balancing on slender branches. The faces are hand-painted, their eyes wide with wonder, their expressions curious and kind. Some have delicate brush strokes or feathers. Others wear soft blush on their cheeks. The imperfections only deepen their charm. The kind of art that smiles not because it's flawless, but because it's loved. Below them, the garden blooms in reds, purples, and white, petunias and pansies leaning into the light. The jugs sway above them, almost as if watching over the bed with gentle approval. It's not just decoration, it's dialogue, a story between nature and nurture, between what was once waste and what now delights the eye. The wood rail from which they hang is faded and cracked, a piece of scrap saved from firewood. And yet it holds up joy. It bears a weight of creativity and color, turning a simple fence line into a gallery of whimsy that shifts with every breeze. These jugs don't just hang, they invite for you to try, to paint, to repurpose, to add your own creature to the gallery. Because art doesn't need canvas or canvas price tags. Sometimes it just needs a bottle, a brush, and a quiet afternoon. High above a patch of zinnias and herbs, two monkeys swing from a weathered branch, dangling by their coiled rope tails with an ease that makes you smile before you know why. They're not made of fur and muscle, of course. They're bottle-born, shaped from brown plastic with hand-painted grins and eyes wide with mischievous charm. The body of each monkey hangs head down, its curved form acting as both character and container. From the cut top of each bottle, tufts of green hair burst upward. Wild thyme, baby's tears, or creeping mint, giving the illusion that these cheeky creatures are sprouting their own jungle canopies. The effect is playful and alive. The rope limbs swing freely, catching the wind, while their hands and feet are knotted with purpose, more adornment than function, but crafted with care. Their faces, painted with warm, earthy tones, bear the curious joy of a child's drawing. One leans slightly to the side, the other has one eye squinting as if mid-laugh. And that's what they bring to the garden, not just greenery, but laughter, not just decor, but companionship. Above them, grapevines twist, and below, the soft hum of bees meanders through the air. It's not a jungle, but for these two monkeys, it may as well be. And all it took was an empty bottle, some rope, a bit of imagination, and a willingness to let joy swing free in your own backyard. They remind you that not everything has to stand upright. Sometimes, the best things hang upside down, grinning at the sky, growing where they're planted, and teaching you to play again. As the sun dips low and the first shadows stretch across the garden, a quiet turtle stirs, not with motion, but with light. From beneath its stone-spotted shell, a gentle green glow spills onto the gravel path. Its body, shaped from a humble plastic bottle, reflects the last of the golden light, then begins its shift into something softly magical. The shell is crafted with care. Flat pebbles arranged across the bottle's rounded top, forming the textured armor of this slow and glowing guardian. Inside, a small LED flickers to life, powered by a rechargeable solar cap tucked neatly beneath the back. The effect is calming, like moonlight resting on moss. Its head, sculpted from a bottle cap wrapped in twine, peers out with two bead eyes that catch the light just enough. Legs and tail, simple lengths of twine or braided rope, curl gently against the earth. There's no pretense of movement. The turtle doesn't need to travel. Its purpose is presence. Set along the path, it becomes more than decoration. It becomes a guide, a gentle reminder to walk slowly, to notice the scent of night jasmine, the sound of a cricket song, the way lavender holds its fragrance in the cool. And when more turtles are placed in a row, each with their own soft pulse of light, the garden transforms into a path of wonder, leading not just across space, but into peace. You remember, as you pass it, that this turtle was once trash, that what glows now was once cast aside, and that perhaps beauty doesn't come from what things are, but from what they're allowed to become. Along the length of quiet fence, a flurry of butterflies appears, not fluttering, but dancing in their own way, caught mid-flight by artful hands and steady wire. Their wings shimmer in the sunlight, painted in pastels and bold tones alike, each one cut from the curved walls of plastic bottles once forgotten. Now they guard the trellis, perched like jewels along weathered wood and wire, watching the garden bloom below. Some wings are soft lilac with yellow spots. Others flare with teal, coral, or glints of metallic gold. The plastic, once dull, now catches the light with the shimmer of stained glass. No two are the same. Some hover at angles. Some tilt upward. Some seem poised to lift and vanish on a breeze. And all of them invite pause, a gentle reminder to look closer. The trellis itself is simple. Thin wooden beams, perhaps repurposed, support the weight of creeping vines. Morning glory twisting in blue, jasmine unfurling its white petals with quiet scent. The butterflies don't compete with the flowers. They whisper beside them. Together, they create a layered tapestry of movement, real and imagined. At twilight, the silhouettes of the butterflies cast soft shadows across the fence, dancing gently with every stir of wind. And when the blooms close for the night, the butterflies remain, faithful and still, a quiet constellation strung along the garden's edge. You made them with scissors and paint, with patient hands and the simplest materials. And now they stay not just as art, but as guardians of joy. A fence that holds more than vines. It holds 1,000 moments of wonder. At the base of a fern-covered slope, near the edge of a garden path worn soft by bare feet and time, an elephant stands. Not a towering giant from faraway lands, but a cheerful creature made from an old bottle, with a spirit far larger than its frame. Its body is wide and rounded, painted a dusty gray, and its trunk, once a spout, now curls upward in triumph, bursting with green. The plant that grows from the trunk seems to wave in joy. Perhaps mint, perhaps ivy, its leaves tumbling forward like a spray of cool water. It's as though the elephant has taken a sip from the earth and now breathes life into the garden. Its eyes, simple circles of paint or plastic beads, peer forward with the innocence of a child's sketch. And its ears, cut from soft plastic or flexible board, flap outward in big, friendly gestures. On its back, another small plant grows, nestled in a bottle cutout that cradles soil like a shallow pond. Maybe marigolds, maybe basil, maybe something unexpected that sprouted from last season's seed. The elephant makes no demands. It simply offers space to grow. Surrounding it, the garden hums with life. Pebbles line its feet like stepping stones, and rainwater from a night before glistens in tiny pools nearby. This isn't just a planter. It's a smile shaped by hand and placed where it could surprise someone walking by. And maybe tomorrow a child or neighbor will pause beside it, ask where it came from, and learn that joy doesn't need to be bought. Sometimes it's hiding in a bottle, waiting to become an elephant with a garden in its trunk, under a sun-washed patio awning, where time slows and the breeze carries the scent of clay and rosemary. 3 little cactus planters sit side by side. But they aren't real cacti, not prickly or dry or stubborn. They're made from plastic bottles, painted green with care. Their bodies soften into rounded curves that suggest growth without danger. Each one sits in a shallow terracotta tray, circled by smooth white stones that shine like shells under sunlight. One cactus is tall, another short and squat, the third leaning slightly as if mid-laugh. At the top of each, a paper or felt blossom flares, pinks, oranges, even a soft lavender, offering a pop of joy like a desert bloom after rain. They don't need watering. They don't need shade. But they do bring a certain warmth to their corner, a sense of creativity rooted in reuse. Their spines are just paint, dotted with the tip of a brush or toothpick, evenly spaced like memories. No risk, no pain, just decoration made tender through detail. This little family rests quietly on a windowsill, or perhaps beside a garden bench, catching the light and reminding you that the desert isn't always harsh, that beauty can thrive even in imagined places, shaped from trash and intention. You made them with scissors and color, but more than that, you gave them story. And now they sit not as replacement for real plants, but as companions to them, little sculptures of green joy, nestled in clay, soaking in the sun. At the heart of the garden, where the lawn is greenest and the sun shines brightest, a peacock stands in silent splendor. Its body, a proud blue bottle, gleams with regal stillness. But its glory is the tail, a magnificent fan of shimmering feathers, each one cut from green and clear plastic, layered to catch the light. Painted eyes of gold and turquoise at the tips, winking with a beauty that needs no sound. It is not merely a statue. From a hidden hollow in its back, a delicate fern unfurls, its fronds echoing the grace of the tail beneath it. The peacock carries life, not just its own imagined one. This creature of pride wasn't born in a palace or far-off jungle. It was born from a recycling bin, from bottles that once held water, soap, or soda. It is a testament to vision, a reminder that grandeur can be sculpted from the ordinary. It doesn't strut or call. It simply is. A quiet monarch of the flower beds, teaching the garden that true majesty isn't about what you are, but what you have the courage to become. And perhaps, tucked away in your own home, the pieces of your own peacock are already waiting.